How is it that I have 6 likes and only 4 questions? Come on, people. Ask me some questions. I'm ready for them. Anyways, welcome to my third ever Q&A video. Today I will be answering 4 questions from 4 very awesome YouTubers. 2 of them I know from Facebook and Google and through YouTube, and they're really great people. The other 2 I'm not really sure who they are, but one of them asked a question last time. I'm not sure if the other one did or not, because I remember that the one who asked a question last time was named Victor Crowley, and he changed his name. That's how I remember, because I love Victor Crowley, not the person the guy who's portraying Victor Crowley on YouTube, because I don't know him, but I love the movie Hatchet. So there you go. Anyways, let's get down to the questions. Let's start off with, let's see. I'll start off with the one that came out first, which is by, this question was asked by Megadeth 258, and his original name, almost knocked over my werewolf. That would not have been good. Okay, because I already had to glue his arm back on. Hey, I'm Victor Crowley, says Megadeth 258, but I can't get that account, hold on. My glasses were like falling over. Megadeth 258 says, hey, I'm Victor Crowley, but I can't get that account, so here's my new account. Anyways, what's your favorite horror comedy, and why? Also, what's your favorite of the Godzilla movies and Leprechaun movies? Okay, I'm going to start off with the Godzilla and Leprechaun question, because I have to think about what my favorite horror comedy is. So, my favorite Godzilla film, I'll say my favorite is the original, but my favorite sequel is Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah Giant Monsters All Out Attack. GMK, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. Quicker. My favorite Leprechaun movie, I'll say that the original is pretty fun, and I love the third one, but I really have to say the second one was probably is my favorite, and I can't wait to see Leprechaun Origins, because that looks pretty interesting. But I wish Warwick Davis returned as Leprechaun. That would be awesome. And back to what's your favorite horror comedy? It had to be. I'm just getting over a cold. I got a lot of post-nasal drip, so if you see boogers coming down my face, don't get mad at me. Oh no, it wasn't a cold. It was allergies. So let me just look at this. I'm looking at my movie shelf to see if I can think of any. But first, I'll say the first 2 that come to mind, and that is Reanimator or Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn, because Evil Dead 1 is not a comedy. It just has a lot of cheesy moments. That's what makes it kind of funny. But Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn or Reanimator, though either one of those. And if you want to talk about creature features, okay, Sharknado. It's definitely a horror comedy. Now let's start off with the other person who I don't really know who it is, but his name is Samor78. Do you like psychological horror films, and why? Now here's the thing, I have to be in the mood to like psychological horror films. I can't be like, yeah, I'm always going to be into the psychological horror films. Paranormal films sometimes tend to have psychological elements, but any film can have psychological elements. You could take Sharknado and make it a psychological thriller, because it just requires some decent writing to get someone's attention. I don't mind them, but I have to be in the mood to watch them. Okay. Let's go to... Alright. Who should I pick? It's not that hard. I'll start with the one that comes first in the alphabet, which is C for CIC Pro 1. Who would win in a fight, Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees? I think it'd have to be Jason, because Michael has never been a zombie. He technically died in the 7th one, and that's what I want to think he did. But then the stupid explanation why he's still alive in the 8th one does not make him a zombie. Jason has more experience in not dying, and Michael just has an experience of being fucking lucky to come back from a coma, coming back from being burned alive, which is kind of weird. But Jason has all this time. He has more movies than Michael. Wait, does he? Yeah, he does. He has 2 more than Michael. And I think he would just kick Michael Myers' ass. Even though Michael Myers is pretty cool, I still think Jason is the best. Next is Garbage Can Film Man. He, is this a question or is this something he's just saying? Oh, okay. Garbage Can Film Man asks, I've always felt ninjas embody elements of horror when you use properly in films, i.e., Duel to the Death or Chinese Super Ninjas. Do you have a favorite ninja movie? And if so, is there any element of horror in that film that you feel deserves a noteworthy comment? I own Kill Bill 1 and 2. I haven't watched them. I don't normally watch martial arts films. I swear I've seen one, though. I gotta look back at that. I don't think so. Well, I'll say this. The only film I actually watched that was horror-related, had a ninja element, was the Indonesian Friday the 13th ripoff. I don't know if that qualifies as a ninja. But it's kind of interesting because the two main female characters, they fight like a Kung Fu Indonesian, I guess, fighting style way. And it proves to be useful how to stop the Indonesian Mrs. Voorhees. They uses their kung fu against her, and I think that's pretty cool. It's noteworthy, but it doesn't really embody horror. But it wasn't a horror movie. That was a rip-off of Friday the 13th made in Indonesia. But anyways, yeah. Also, thank you, fucking Ingenious, for telling me that I make a good point about Pinhead's dreams. In the last Q&A, he asked who would win, Freddy or Pinhead, and I said, well, I think Pinhead would win because Freddy would be too terrified to go into Pinhead's dreams after just one visit, and Pinhead would just take him out into the real world and kill him with the chains, or hooks, whatever he wants to use. Anyways, yeah, I said, ha ha ha, I thought about that, or whatever. Yeah, so I'd really appreciate if people asked me more questions. I really love doing these Q&As. I never thought I would. I actually thought they would be very boring to do. But I'm keeping up on them every Friday. Yeah, is it every Friday? I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, it's interesting to do these because I like people asking me questions, and don't just ask me questions about horror movies. You can ask me questions about my personal life, or, well, not exactly everything I do in my personal life, like, you know, but like things I like to do, or things I do every day, and then you can even ask a horror movie with that question. I don't care if you ask more than one question, I'll answer it. Anyways, I am Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Movie Reviews. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below, and so leave comments and subscribe, and please leave a question in the comment section below, either here on YouTube or on Facebook.